Hello and welcome back to Mr. Allred's 5 Minutes On, and today I'm going to be talking to you about inorganic or external growth. This video is going to be aimed at a GCSE standard, taking you through all the concepts associated with this. So let's start with a definition of external or inorganic growth. So this is growth that's achieved by buying or merging with another business. Okay, so we buy the controlling shares of another business, or we decide to join with another business. So let's have a look at the buying of another business. So we call these takeovers. This is where the business buys 50% or more of the shares available in another business. Okay, now these can often be invited. So for example, Pixar and Disney, this wasn't a hostile takeover. Pixar were happy for Disney to buy them out simply because of the amount of money involved in that, or they could be hostile. Often if I've created a business, I'm proud of it, and I don't want somebody else to go around and buy up the shares that I've allowed other people to have and buy me out of my business and take the control of my business off me. But unfortunately that can happen. If I've sold off, say 70% of my business, and somebody else goes around and buys those little bits that I've sold off over the years, well, ultimately I lose control. I lose the right to be the majority shareholder. Now the major downside of a takeover is quite easy to spot. It's the sheer cost involved of it. If we look at a recent takeover in 2008, Mars bought out Wrigley's, the chewing gum manufacturer. It cost them $23 billion. That's a vast sum of money. That's an unfathomable amount of money to put together to buy another business. But there's got to be some benefits for this. Well, the benefits are really clear. It gives you access to their products, gives you access to their market, to their customers. These are trusted brands that you're buying. So if we think about this in a little bit deeper, if we look at Disney in recent years, they bought Marvel, they bought Pixar, they bought Lucasfilm, and everything that's associated with them. These are household, well-known brands. Marvel produces some of the most well-known iconic superheroes there are in the world. Lucasfilm has Star Wars, this massive powerhouse of a franchise. But Disney, by taking these over, by buying out these organizations, they get access to those things. They add them to their product portfolio and can make massive sums of money. Avengers Endgame is the highest grossing movie of all time when inflation's not been taken into consideration. That's beneficial for Disney because they get access to those products. As a result, they also get access to new markets. Often businesses might find it hard to get into a market. For example, Kraft, who make Hershey's, found it really difficult to enter the UK market because Cadbury's is such a massively well-respected and well-known brand and well-trusted brand in the United Kingdom. So what do? They bought Cadbury's. It cost them a vast sum of money to do that, but it made access to that market much easier. And now we see Hershey's much more regular on there because Cadbury's aren't competing with them because they're under the same banner of a parent company called Mondelez. In addition to this, it can cut costs. We think about Mars and Wrigley's again. They don't need 2 sales staff. They don't need 2 HR functions. They don't need 2 delivery functions. They therefore can cut these number of staff down. They can get rid of those staff, and that saves vast sums of money in the long run. It's not an instant thing, but over time that saves them lots and lots of money. So there's benefits for it. Let's have a look at a merger then. Well, a merger is where 2 businesses of similar sizes might join together to create one larger business. By definition, if there's 2 smaller size businesses, the business doubles in size, and herein lies part of the issues and part of the problems with the merger, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Examples of this: Carphone Warehouse and Dixon's, they merged and they're now Dixon's Carphone Warehouse. We get really the similar benefits that you get from a takeover. We get access to different markets, we get a greater product portfolio, we get an ability to compete, we get those economy scales, those cost-cutting measures that I mentioned previously. However, the negative, as I said, you're doubling the size of your business. And as a result, it becomes much more complex to manage. It becomes much more stressful and puts much more strain on leadership to lead that business forward. Often the change, therefore, can be too quick and too sudden and put too much pressure on staff, and we see them fail. And when they fail, it costs a lot of money. For example, Mercedes and Chrysler, they merged together and eventually had to split. Mercedes, it's estimated, lost $50 billion because of that wrong decision. And Chrysler, a year after the split, had to be bailed out by the US government because simply they couldn't afford to produce anymore. This has been Mr. Allred's 5 minutes on external growth. Please like the video and please subscribe to the channel.